Good evening, Bahamas. This is the State of the Nation, Issues of National Importance. This is your host, Professor Sidney McArthur Walter Thompson. Today we will be talking about the issue of crime in our society. Many people are concerned about their safety, their welfare of their children, their family members. Many have been hit by murder, rape, armed robbery, and so many violent things are happening today. In fact, our young men are out of control. What has happened to the Bahamian society today, where we have young men openly in confrontation with armed police officers. We had a recent incident where a young man was shot to death. He tried to take on two armed police officers. He himself was armed, according to reports from the police. The point is, something is seriously wrong with our people. We have to find out what it is that has happened to our young men, because they need a lot of help. Now, you fathers and mothers out there, we've had this problem for some time, and it seems as if we have serious difficulties in coming to understand what it is we ought to do as a people in being able to deal with the issue of crime. The police come in when something has happened. Mothers are always screaming about their good sons after they have been murdered. The point is, Bahamians, there is a serious problem in our society. We have got to find what the solution is. We've got to become involved in helping our young men to settle their differences. The police always advise that they ought to settle them differently. That is not happening. And the problem continues. You and I have a responsibility as law-abiding citizens to assist our younger men in the society to behave differently. There is a code of conduct. It is not Bahamian for us to behave the way we're doing. It is important for you and I to help and assist in this crime-fighting initiative. The police are involved in terms of being able to protect the citizenry of this country. That's not good enough, just the police alone. You and I have a responsibility to rear our sons, to rear our daughters properly. Even the young women are getting involved in very serious criminal activity. You older women in the society, you have a role to play in terms of helping our younger women to be good mothers, to be good homemakers, to be involved in the development of their family. And fathers, you to deal with your sons. You have not done a good job. Many of these young men do not know who their fathers are. And so, when other young men are talking about how great their fathers are, these young men who have not known who their fathers are, they themselves, they get jealous. They get angry. They become hostile. And so they act out in a manner that is not proper and decent. So you and I as citizens have to become responsible in helping to stem the wickedness of crime in our land. Murder. We have over 114 so far. And Bahamians, we've had an incident again with an 18-year-old and a 14-year-old. The 18-year-old was shot to death. And Bahamians, these persons who are doing this sort of thing, they put multiple gunshot wounds in their victims. And the police are also saying now that there is a problem with people who are let out on bail in our society. Either those out on bail, they become victims, or they themselves are involved in being criminals while they're out on bail. It seems as if there are others out there who have their own brand of justice. They do not respect the police. They do not respect the courts. They decide they're going to have their own court. They decide they're going to have their own force. Bahamians, that is a recipe for disaster. So you and I have a responsibility to help, to assist, to inspire, to motivate, to encourage our young men to think differently. I was talking to a group of young people the other day. I was amazed to see how they think. It's amazing, parents. We have to help them because they are basically, intrinsically very, very selfish. I see it among younger members of my own family. And I've had to put some strong corrective measures on one or two of them because I was not reared that way. Their attitude toward older members of society is so warped and so out of whack. We have to get it right. We were trained properly to respect our elders, to respect police officers, even if they're older or younger than you are. But you must have these authority figures respected. You don't always have to agree with them. But the point is, we need a society that is in order. And right now, we have many problems, many difficulties, and people are just crying out when the incident occurs. Let me just say this. It is incumbent upon you and I to make sure that we stem this wickedness by helping and assisting our younger people in principles, time-honored principles that do not change. And we haven't taken the time to rear our children properly. We allowed them to grow up doing their own thing. Parents are too busy trying to make money. They're not involved in the rearing of their children and causing them to understand basic foundational principles of life. Bahamians, we were once a God-fearing nation, a God-fearing people. We were taught Christian values and the rule of law that is hardly taught today in our society, even in our schools. You have total disregard and disrespect for principals and teachers and other persons who work in these schools. Bahamians, we have a lawless society and we need to do our part to make sure that we are helping. And those parents who do not have their fathers with them, you've got to find a father figure for those boys. In fact, I have noticed the disrespect and contempt that these youngsters show toward their mothers who are struggling to pay the bills. Mothers, please, you're going to have to help in correcting your sons by finding responsible father figures for those boys, whether that may be the pastor of the church or some other responsible person in the community. There are any number of responsible people living in your area. All you have to do, is to ask. The book says, ask and you will receive, seek and you will find, knock and it shall be open unto you. We've got to get serious about rearing our children, about training them properly, setting good examples for them so that they will be able to move forward in being able to be good citizens in our society. So Bahamians, it is most important, particularly those who are of the older generation, to become involved in helping to direct our young people in the right way. There are many of us out there who can help. Please become involved, help your local community, help your family members, because they are those of us who are very weak. We have been fighting and trying as hard as we can, but we're not making any headway. So we've got to help and assist and make sure it goes in the right way. We'll be back after this break.
Baines Electric, located 46 Kennedy Subdivision, introduces Top Fall Radiant Barrier, which is 95% efficient and blocking the sun's radiant heat from penetrating your roof and attic space. Applied to the exterior of all new wood frame structures. Call them at 322-1256.
Courtesy Supermarket, located 169 Carmichael Road in Iguana Way, provides for you a complete line of groceries, produce, dairy, fresh meat, magazines, and pharmaceutical drugs. Call 361-0235 for all your grocery items and personal needs.
June's Beauty Supplies, located at Market Street and Pond Center Avenue, provides human, synthetic, and Brazilian bungle hair, Afro kinky, rope twist, cornrow, weave, locking, hair piercing, among many other beauty supplies. Call them 428-6394, 428-8253. McNeil's Tire Repair Center, 124 Carmichael Road and Alexander Street, provides new and used tires, welding and auto services, tire plugs, changes, checks, and seals. Open 8 a.m. to 9 p.m. Call us 677-0232. We get the job done the first time.
Obsession Designs, located Marquis Street North, a ladies' boutique, has all your holiday specials on casual and dressy wear, accessories, scarves, bags, and belts. Call them at 394-5495.
With the freshest fruits, vegetables, and meats, you'll definitely enjoy the choices you'll find at Phoenix Fresh Market. We carry everything the big food chains offer. The only difference is our prices are so much better. Spacious aisles are stocked with everything you're looking for, so you don't have to run uptown for anything. The new Phoenix Fresh Market in the Coral Harbor Shopping Plaza. It's open.
Universal Car Links at number 28 Wolf Road provides used Japanese auto parts and accessories for Honda, Nissan, Toyota, and Mazda vehicles. If we can't find it, nobody can. Call them at 328-8358 or 434-4352. Email umelawrence@yahoo.com. Bowes Reliable Pumping Service in Montel Heights specializes in septic hole covers, drain fields, vacuum pumping, new septic tanks, land clearing, dump truck rentals, burglar bars, among others. Call them at 325-7070. Frankie Gone Bananas at Arawaki Fish Fry specializes in Bahamian food and seafood favorites. Grilled lobster combo with shrimp, chicken, grouper fingers, and snapper. Crack combo with fried chicken, mahi-mahi, and shrimp. Tropical drinks, francolada, Bahama Mama, Sex on the Beach, among others. Drink and sing along at karaoke on Tuesdays, open 11:30 a.m. to 11 p.m. daily. Call us at 323-0259. We are back. This is the State of the Nation, Issues of National Importance. This is your host, Professor Sidney McArthur Walter Thompson. This portion of the show is being sponsored by Frankie Gone Bananas. We want to thank the many sponsors who have been supporting us from our initial show, November the 27th. And we want to encourage as many of you who have businesses to advertise your goods, your services, your products on the television show. 325-8652. That is 325-8652, or you can email National Affairs Association at yahoo.com. That is National Affairs Association at yahoo.com to get your goods, your services, your products on air. The thing is, Bahamians, we have to work together as a team. And so your support is most important in being able to bring the kind of information that is vital and necessary to the masses so they can make sound decisions and good judgments. Bahamians, there are many, many problems in the society. It is going to take a collective effort on the part of our people to deal with these most pressing issues that affect us as a people. And crime is one of them. Murder is at the top of the list. We have over 114 murders for 2014 so far. And Bahamians, it seems to me as if it's getting worse all the time. It is most important that you and I become responsible and see what it is we can do to help our people. Now, there's the argument about capital punishment, whether it's a deterrent or not. There are those, of course, who say it isn't. There are those, like Alfred says, who feels that it would be a mistake for us to be able to bring capital punishment again. And of course, Bishop Simeon Hall is on the opposite side. He wants to see hangings resumed. Let me just say this. Capital punishment is just that, punishment for murderers. If you continue to allow murderers to live in your society, you're going to have people, as we have experienced, 2, 3, 4, and possibly 5 or more murders being committed by the exact same individual. It is incumbent upon us, Bahamians, to impress upon the authorities in this land that we cannot continue to live like this. Too many innocent people already dead. There, of course, you have the retaliatory side where people decide they want to do their own thing. That breeds wickedness and confusion. It is most important that people understand that the judiciary must work to assist us in bringing justice. People want to know that there is justice for them in the courts. But if they perceive and they believe that they are not going to get justice, they're going to take matters in their own hand, as we have today. So the argument goes on whether it is effective or not, but I'll tell you this. I am going to stick with time-honored values and principles that do not change. Once that murderer is put to death, I'm not talking about taking innocent life. I'm talking about people who deliberately and intentionally take the lives of others. One life is too many. You put that individual out of his misery, you will be absolutely certain that that individual will not be able to commit another murder. That's permanent. But if you allow that individual to continue to run rampant in the land, going before the court, getting bail, and as we understand in some cases, people out on bail for 2 and 3 murders. Punishment for murder. The only kind of punishment that could be meted out that would stand is capital punishment for persons who commit murder. The murderer must be put to death. And our laws should be very clear. We should not have to be wrangling and fighting and arguing over this thing or that thing or the next thing. In fact, God says, make it simple and make it plain so that a little 5-year-old child will be able to understand. The thing is, we have people with these arguments back and forth, whether the punishment, capital punishment, in fact, whether it's effective or not. The point is, Bahamians, if we continue to have people running loose, as we have today, we will continue to have more and more people being taken out. And then, when people see that they are not getting the kind of support or the kind of justice they feel they ought to get, then you have this retaliation. So Bahamians, we've got to have clear laws. And there are those, of course, who want to have a referendum on capital punishment. I don't see why we should have to. It's already on the books. Of course, we have a disconnect with the Privy Council in London. It is just that our laws have to be clear-cut. And this is where you have people who go to the House of Assembly. The House of Assembly is the legislature which deal with the passing of laws. That's why you send people to the House. And so it's incumbent upon us to make sure that the representatives who represent us do their job. This is a very serious problem in our society. And since you don't want people to take matters in their own hands, then in order to keep law and order, we must have an effective system to deal with people who commit murder, people who deal with kidnapping, people who deal with attempted rape and all these other vicious, serious crimes. The punishment must be very swift, and the punishment must be very severe. Because once you start doing that and you do it consistently, not no now and then, where you take favorites, there should be no favorites when it comes to giving out justice. Justice must be blind. It doesn't see whether you're rich or poor, whether you're black or white, whether you're this party or that party. The thing is, we need justice in our land. And justice must be carried out effectively. It must be carried out swiftly. So it's incumbent upon us to put the kind of pressure on our legislators to make sure the laws are crystal clear, that we want the murderers to be punished, and punished very severely. In fact, we cheapen life when we do that, give them X number of years in jail, and then they come out, and the person is still dead, who they murdered. But they're still living and enjoying life. And then you and I, as taxpayers, have to pay for them to be taken care of while they're in jail. And some of them are living better than some of us on the outside. But the point is, Bahamians, we need to have law and order in our country. So let us work, and let us work consistently to bring about change. And that is why I always say to people, you need to be organized on the ground in your local areas for national causes. We have not done that as Bahamians. We have sat back and waited for our legislators, waited for the government of the day to do it, waited for a minister of the government to do it. We've been waiting for almost 50 years since majority rule, and nothing has happened. Bahamians, it's incumbent upon us to have new ideas, new vision, but also at the same time, We need time-honored values and principles that do not change. It's important that we have that as a vital ingredient in moving the country forward 2014 going into 2015. So it's most important that we be able to move forward and get the job done. And Bahamians, it takes a collective effort on the part of our people to get the job done as we move forward. We'll be back after. Creative Tees Signs and Banners, number 15 Madera Street, provides a complete line of Androsia products, workshop and professional uniforms, banners, shirts, and decals. Quality printing at affordable prices. Call them at 677-9476. Jungle Juice Bahamas, located Gamble Heights, manufactures Jungle Juice in all flavors, gallon, liter, 20 ounce, 12 ounce sizes available, along with Jungle Spring Water and Ice. Call them at 341-4922-552-7211. Email junglejuice@outlook.com. All of us Prescription Center Pharmacy, located Blue Hill Road, South, fills prescriptions from any medical doctor, NIB insurance prescription plan, and most major insurances accepted. Free blood pressure checkups and discounts for seniors. Call them at 341-1556.
The Fabric Center, located 426 Blue Hill Road South, specializes in the finest and best quality men and ladies suiting materials. Prices are affordable. Call them at 341-0770 or 427-9558.
Watch and Jewelry Exchange at Prince George Arcade Bay Street provides pre-owned high-end watches and jewelry, new silver jewelry, and Instagram watch and jewelry exchanges. Call them at 356-7366 or 365-736.
Welcome to Games and Things and Games and More, where you can shop for all of your Christmas gifts under one roof.
Check out our wide selection of beautiful handbags. The best deals on smartphones and accessories, tablets, DVD players, laptops, printers, kids' tablets and laptops, headphones, digital and security cameras, portable CD players, and much, much more. The largest selection of video games and consoles. A wide selection of flat-screen televisions.
Games and More, located in the Southwest Plaza. Games and Things, located on Marathon Road, opposite the First Caribbean Bank.
Prestige Total Transformation Salon and Spa, located Faith Avenue South. We totally transform you into whatever it is you want to be. Open weekdays 9 a.m. to 7 p.m. Sundays noon to 5 p.m. Call them at 361-1589 or 395-0303.
The New Engliston Tire Repair Center, located Bahama Avenue and East Street, specializes in tire repairs for all vehicles, new and used tire sales, and on-the-road customer services for our road users. Open 7 a.m. to 8 p.m. Call them at 323-0295. We are back. This is the State of the Nation, issues of national importance. This is your host, Professor Sidney Thompson. We're discussing the issue of crime in our country. Bahamians, we have a famous hotelier, Mr. Enrico Gazzaroli, in the December the 14th edition of the Tribune, said that crime is killing our country. Do you agree with him? That crime is killing our country? It is destroying our economy, destroying our livelihood. When are we going to wake up and say we've had enough of this crime? That includes murder, that includes rape, that includes armed robbery, that includes purse snatching, all of the wickedness that we see prevalent in our society. And of course, when it affects the tourists, it becomes a major problem. We have had the government of the United States issuing advisories for their persons who come here to visit the Bahamas. You know, many people want to come to the Bahamas from all over the world. They are attracted to our country. It is most important that we keep the Bahamas safe, not only for Bahamians, but also for those persons who will come, visit our shores, tell their friends, their relatives, their associates to come and see the beautiful country called the Commonwealth of the Bahamas. And these young men in our society need training. They need to be taught. They need to be educated. We've allowed them to grow up on their own. And in fact, the systems that we have in our country do not lend readily to the masses. That has been a problem from its inception. The point is, people just don't have time to explain things in simple, basic, fundamental language, so a little 5-year-old child can understand and say, Grandma, that is what Professor Thompson said. The thing is, I have found out from years of experience, in fact 43 years, in dealing with our local people, that people become very frustrated because they don't understand. People speak to them very disrespectfully, persons who are supposed to be in authority, who are supposed to be servants of the people. So they become very discouraged It is incumbent upon you and I, who know better, to help our brothers and sisters to see differently, particularly our young men. We've got to work at this in 2015 to turn them around, because it's possible to save them, you know. But if we give up and say he's 18, he's 19, he's 21, he's 22, or he's banned, and we just let them continue to do this level of wickedness, more and more of us will continue to be victims of criminal activity, and many are going to die. I look at it as being needless deaths. Now, if a person dies of an old age, maybe they're 102, 105, that's a little different. But people are being cut down when they're 21, 18, 17, 22, 25, 30. The point is, these people have not even lived sufficiently to experience life. The point is, you and I have a responsibility to help them, to act differently, to act more responsibly. So it's going to take some time. It is going to take hard work. It's going to take commitment. I don't like to see mothers crying out how good their baby was. The baby is dead, on the ground, multiple gunshot wounds. So we really don't know. And so the thing is that we have got to be responsible as citizens and help them. Now, this open confrontation with the police, this foolishness has to stop. The commissioner has warned us. Other officers have warned us, told our young men to settle their differences peacefully. It is foolish. It is stupid. It is dumb to confront armed police officers. And we've had young men that are doing that. We've got to show them that doesn't make any sense. They can be killed, and they have been killed. The point is, we are to respect the officers. And if an officer does something, let me make this very plain, that you don't like, there's a way to deal with that officer. I can tell you that from years of experience. And if you do what is right, what is just, what is fair, if he tells you to stop, you stop. I remember two of them stopped me one morning. I was going to a basketball session before 5, and they told me about a red light that I ran. And I said, officer, you see what time it is in the morning, before 5? You say I run a red light. These two young fellas with milk around their mouth, armed with guns. And of course, when I came out, they withdrew the guns, because I don't like people pointing guns at me. But they didn't know. But then his superior said that they were protecting people in the area, people who get up early in the morning to do running and jogging and that sort of thing. And I said, that's fine. That's all well and good. But I was a little shaken up by that. But I did go in and speak to the superior officer in charge at Fox Hill. I told him about the incident, because the officer told me to report myself to the station, which I did. The point is, Bahamians, we have to train our younger men to be responsible so that they can live and be able to make a meaningful contribution to our society. We're losing too many of our young men. And we're going to have some serious problems in our land with fewer and fewer young men to play their roles in the Bahamian society. We want to see them alive and well, make their contribution, and cause this nation to be the kind of nation that is essential and necessary for the good of all of us. We want to see a nation, a sovereign nation under God. And so there are some time-honored principles that we have to teach them. We have to educate them. We got to inspire them. We have to motivate them. And also, we've had so many young men dying over females. I don't call them women. They fight and they argue over this particular personality, that particular personality. It is so stupid. But they think it makes sense. Huh? We have to show them it doesn't make any sense. If the girl don't want to be with you, then you have to accept the fact she's not married to you. Then you go your way, she go her way. Why can't you accept that? You're not bound to them in any way, shape, or form. You can break off relationships at any time. When some people feel that this is my woman or this is my man, I'm not going to allow him or her to get away with that. And so they do some stupid, foolish thing. For your goods, your services, your products to be put into the show, please call 325-8652. That is 325-8652, or you can email nationalaffairs.association@yahoo.com, nationalaffairs.association@yahoo.com. This has been your host, Professor Sidney McArthur Walter Thompson. Thank you very much, and have a pleasant evening.